Good morning, everybody. Jen Majors here. Welcome to LeadHerShip. Oh my gosh, you guys. I am so excited to be with you today. We're at episode 10. I am believing it. I know I ask you guys, can you believe it? I am believing it. Here we are. This podcast has literally been one of the greatest blessings of my life. The experience, walking through it myself, getting myself out of my comfort zone, and how that has caused growth and awareness in my life that I've not ever experienced before. Also, the experiences I'm having externally. As I encounter people who have listened before, who have listened to the podcast, and I see them in real life. Thank you. Thank you. It has been such an incredible blessing. I am so excited to be here and be continuing to share with each of you. I just thank you. I'm so grateful. So today, episode 10, we're going to be chatting about taking 100% responsibility for your life and everything in it. The goal here is that we are going to be releasing victimhood. Okay, we're going to be taking responsibility, which means we're not a victim anymore of our life. We're going to be letting go of shame. We're going to become empowered, and we're going to focus on that awareness piece. Like we've talked about before, awareness is 90% of the work. Okay. So taking 100% responsibility for your life and everything in it. For people who have gone through similar stories or any kind of traumatic event or child abuse or an abusive marriage or a relationship or a car accident or a terrible injury or any kind of like combat situation where you've experienced something where you have been an actual victim. You were a victim to the situation. Absolutely. And there's definite honoring and loving that needs to be poured all over that. Okay. I want to be very clear that I do not mean we were not victims at one point. Okay. What I do mean is that when we were victims at one point, especially when we were victims and it was so emotional, so hard, we lost something from it, then we sometimes can, or we suffer from it. If we suffer from PTSD or drug addiction or whatever it is, if they're suffering from it, then it can be very simple, very easy to allow a victim template or a victim mentality to be present in our life all the time and to see through a victim lens. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, how we can shift from victimhood and victim mentality and seeing everything that happens in life from a victim perspective and shifting into a creator perspective. Because the reality is that, yes, we experience things and we were a true victim to those things. Absolutely. And like we've mentioned before, now you have choice. Now the abuse is not occurring anymore. Now I'm not a small child anymore, walking home from school. Now I'm not in that abusive marriage. Now I am not in the military combat zone, hearing explosions or seeing murder happen on a regular basis. Now I'm home. These are the things our mind, remember that neural pathways that are created in our mind can be keeping us stuck in this mentality if we don't consciously and intentionally choose to shift and create new ways of being and new thought patterns emerging. Okay. So letting go of victimhood. How do we do that? It's a process like everything else. Okay. There's not going to be a magic wand that's waved that says, oh, all of a sudden you're not a victim. Okay. Don't get me wrong, miracles happen, as we know. Miracles happen, and things can miraculously shift and change. Healings can occur. You can go from victimhood to creator and triumphant living in a snap of a finger. I am confident in that. That has not been my experience. It has been a process. So first, what comes is just the awareness that, oh, isn't that interesting? Here I am, victiming again. Here I am seeing the situation from a victim standpoint. Here I am. Isn't that interesting? I feel very much like a victim right now. I feel like that little child walking home from school who's so terrified to walk into her house. That is a real occurrence for people who have experienced trauma or some kind of victim-related experience. It's you see it a lot in military members who come back. They are trying to sleep and they hear bombs going off in their sleep, and they're suffering from extreme PTSD and having a very hard time feeling peace and that kind of thing. The reality is just starting with that awareness, releasing the judgment of it. Yep, this is here. I'm hearing the noise. I'm hearing the cries. I'm feeling the feeling. Okay. And right now I'm safe. Right now in this room, I'm safe. Moving forward, making the choice. I'm not that little girl anymore. I'm not experiencing that. What do I want to experience instead? Is this feeling working for me or is it not? It's not. So what would I like to experience instead? And beginning to move forward in that, new light, to work through seeing things through a new lens takes a lot of honesty with yourself, a lot of getting real with yourself, which also leads to the next piece is letting go of shame. A lot of what keeps us stuck in this victim mentality and this victimhood is the shame. The shame that we're even feeling it in the first place because we know consciously that we are not in a war zone anymore, that we're not being abused anymore. And so, but because we're still feeling it and we know we probably shouldn't be feeling it in some way, we're judging ourselves and we hold it in a shame space that's very dark and closed and secret. So nobody else sees it. And then I don't speak it. And so it stays stuck in there. That shame space, if we let ourselves stay stuck there in that dark place, leads to things like extreme addiction, leads to things like behaviors that create more opportunities for shame, leads to a place of where people feel such a burden and like so bad and wrong that they feel like they don't even deserve to be on this earth anymore. Okay. I have felt that shame space. And when it feels like it's going to swallow you up, when it feels like there's no way you could possibly say anything to anybody about it, please know that the healing begins to come, the opening begins to come, the light comes into that space when we begin to open it up. Whether that be on a piece of paper or whether that be silent or out of your mouth to yourself, or whether that be sharing it with somebody else, which is what I would recommend. If it's not with a therapist or a coach or a psychiatrist or a doctor, it's with one of your most trusted confidants or friends, a leader that you know, a friend you know, a family member you know that you can trust. Share it. Share it. Get it out of you. Let it get unstuck from your physical body. Let it process through. That's what is supposed to happen. That's what's meant to happen when we experience any kind of traumatic event, is it's supposed to process through us. Instead, we shut it down. We shove it down. We're so ashamed of it. We're so afraid of it that we just hide it from ourselves, which is the shame. and we hide it from ourselves and everybody else. And it's just there lingering all the time. It becomes that beach ball of emotions we talked about in the very first episode. You hold it down for as hard as and fast as you hold that beach ball of emotions down is as hard as fat and as fast as that beach ball of emotions is coming out, whether you want it to or not. Okay. That's just the truth. So shifting from victimhood into being empowered. What we need to do here in order to shift from victimhood is you shift into creator. It's very much what I did in my life without even knowing what I was doing in my life. I decided for myself I did not want to live that life. I did not want to recreate the abuse that my parents created for me. I wanted to come out of that, out of sheer survival mostly. But I decided, nope, this is not what we're doing. What are we creating instead? And that behavior along the course of my life, and I will continue to run that course in my life, that things that I see in my life that I don't think need to be there, or this is not what I'm trying to create, I'm going to have awareness about it. I'm going to process through it with love and grace and ease and compassion and forgive. I am going to choose what I want and set an expectation and intention for what I would like to experience instead. And I'm going to set my intention to experience that thing. I'm going to keep working that tool until I'm going to feel some grace in that area. And there's many layers of victimhood, okay? There's many layers of victimhood. So as I've been processing through and healing, I am able to leave my house now, right? So that's something I was very much in victim mentality when I felt like I couldn't leave my house for 3 months. I was shaming and judging myself over and over and over, calling myself bad and wrong and bad and wrong. And then when I got some coaching and had some understanding about what I was experiencing and the fact that I was not bad or wrong, then I could have some freedom there to choose something next. So becoming empowered to create, promote, and allow, what is it that you want to experience and how do you want to experience it? And remembering that awareness is 90%. Now, the title of this is Take 100% Responsibility for Your Life and Everything in It. That can seem really harsh when you were a child who was abused, right? That can seem really, really harsh. Hey, what do you mean take 100% responsibility for my life and everything in it? I didn't cause that to happen. Correct. You did not cause that to happen. And it was present in your life. For some reason, whatever the reason, there it was in your life. And I don't believe things happen by accident. I think things are very much, I don't really even know what to call it, but I think things are orchestrated in a way that everything works together for good. I really, really believe everything works together for good. Okay. And so, no, I didn't create the abuse in my life as a small child. I didn't create being raised by a super violent dad, right? I didn't create that. And it happened in my life. And I know now that had I not experienced that behavior during the formative years of my childhood, which is between the ages of 2 and 7, those are our most formative, most impressionable years, I would not be who I am today. And I would not be doing the work I am doing today. I guarantee it. Okay. And so that is the miracle then, that when we choose to go, okay, that was a hot mess and terrible and painful, and there were a lot of symptoms that happened from that experience. I would like to experience something different, something lighter, a lot less symptoms of that experience, I then can begin to see things and experience things outside of that victimhood in an empowered creator lens, in an empowered creator mindset, in a, yep, I went through that and watch me. Yep, I went through that and watch me tell this story and watch me heal the freaking world. How empowering, how much creation is there, how much beauty, how much healing, how many more people's lives can be touched and positive things can happen when I choose to enter that empowered creator mentality and let go of the victimhood. And everything in my life. I don't care if my husband's having an affair, okay? I need to take 100% responsibility for my life and everything in it. So if my husband's out there having an affair, bless. It's an opportunity for me to go inward and go, isn't this interesting? Instead of judging him and judging the situation and judging myself and feeling, woe is me, down in the dumps. What is going on here? This is a pretty big feedback happening in my life. My husband's having an affair. Okay, what's happening? What is going on? It's an opportunity for me to let go of the victimhood. I'm not a victim to that. I'm not going to hold the shame that's trying to reside inside of me about it. Instead, I'm going to create an opportunity to have some awareness. What? And that's my question. Okay, Jennifer Majors, what's going on? What's happening here? And I may have an answer right away. It may take some time for me to just continue to reside in that space of no judgment, not falling into the victim mentality. But I want to create, promote, and allow something different in my life. And so far, I've created, promoted, and allowed my husband having an affair. It happens, right? We find ourselves sit in situations where we're like, oh, dang, this is like the worst possible case scenario. Well, what can I do to create, promote, and allow something different? In what ways can I take 100% responsibility for my life and everything in it, and my husband is in it? Wow. I can create. I can become aware. I can say I'd like to experience something different. I can throw on some compassionate self-forgiveness on myself. I can work through talking with somebody about it, releasing the shame surrounding it. And then I can find some freedom in it. And then you begin to have these huge aha moments like, oh my gosh, I can totally see this. I didn't expect to go here, but here we are. This was this is something that happened in my relationship with John. He didn't have a full-on affair, but he was having a conversation with another woman that was going in a direction that it should not have been going in. This was early on in our marriage, kind of midway through point. And it was pretty hard for me. And it was hard for our kids found out about it. It was hard for all of us. There was a lot of judgment. There was a lot of, I'm a victim. There was a lot of shame. I was shaming myself. I was shaming him. There was a lot of closed, I don't want to talk to you, don't even talk to me behavior. And I know I'm not the only one. And that behavior doesn't create anything else but more of that behavior. It doesn't allow openness to happen so that any kind of healing or any kind of creation or any kind of intention about what I want to experience comes up. And the reality is that when two people are in a relationship and something like that happens, there's something going on. And so it's an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity to see things a little bit deeper. Everything is a message to us if we allow it to be. Everything doesn't have to be bad or wrong. The reality is during that time, I was not available. If I really got very honest with myself, I was not available emotionally. I was going through a lot of medical stuff. I had gained an incredible amount of weight. I was not doing well. Not that any of those things are excuses for anybody to step out of their marriage, okay? There's no excuses or anything like that. And I began to look inside of myself and decide, what was this here to teach me and how could I grow through it? And John and I have done, I would say, a pretty phenomenal job of coming together and working through this and bringing awareness to it first, releasing the shame and the judgment of it. I take 100% responsibility. He takes 100% responsibility. We look at it from an empowerment place and creating what it is we want to experience. If that means there is no marriage, then that's what we experience. If this means we want to work toward something, we're going to work towards something. This is the way that life really is the most beautiful and is the most effective, is when we don't cancel each other, is the only thing I can think of, the wording. When we don't cancel each other, when you make a big old mistake, and I'm not going to just say that's it. When we offer that forgiveness, first for ourselves, remember, then for somebody else, we offer that compassion. We offer that connection, that ability to come together and go, okay, I see you, and I see the way in which that was, and that's not working for me. Instead, I would like to experience something different. Are you willing to experience that with me? Okay. So, my friends, that was a big one. I didn't expect that to be popping up, but here we are. That's my commitment to you, is I'm going to be open and vulnerable about things going on in my life as a way, because it's helpful. It's helpful. There's a story that I'll tell that I'll end with. I remember being in church when I was a young woman. I was probably 20, 21. I had just started. And my pastor's wife was up preaching. And I can remember just looking up to her so much. She was like one of my first mentors in life was her. And looking at her with such awe and honor. And she had been a single mom when she was younger. I knew that about her. But she said one time, she's up preaching and she goes, if y'all knew where I really came from, you wouldn't follow me to the fridge. And I can remember feeling in my spirit at that moment, oh no, please tell me where you come from. I'll follow you anywhere. And that was always my craving, to know where people come from and like the nitty gritty of what's going on. What do you guys got going on? And that's something we don't make a practice of, sharing our deep, dark stuff. That's something I've pretty much been always kind of good at, is it's okay. It's not terrible for me to share those things, because I really do believe that there's beauty in it when we share those secret spaces of what's maybe gone on in our life or going on, because other people go through it too. And man, if we can bless each other. I've also always had this mentality that, gosh, I really hope I didn't go through everything I went through just for myself. I really, really hope and pray that I went through everything I went through so that I can help so many other people. And so I share that with you all today. That thanks for letting me share. Thanks for being here and listening to me share. I invite you all to take 100% responsibility for your life and everything in it. I invite you all to release victimhood, to release shame, and to become an empowered creator of your life. And thanks for holding me with so much love and grace. And I am excited to continue to share. Next episode, you'll be here. I guess this episode is a really good intro to what we'll be entering into our next episode. Episode 11 will be all about marriage and business. Like I said before, John Majors will be with us. We'll be sharing about our marriage, more stories. I think we're going to go pretty deep. I'm expecting that one to be about an hour, so get ready. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a most amazing, inspired, and blessed week. We are creeping up on mid-November. Holy cow. I hope each and every one of you are blessed. Thank you so much. Until next time.